I'm Dr. Lisa Jones, and I'm standing here in front of the headwaters of the Little Wekiva River and the Wekiva River. Many people don't know that a headwater is a place where a river starts. Every river starts somewhere, and that somewhere is called its headwaters. The headwaters of the Little Wekiva River are also the most important tributary headwaters of the Wekiva River. They're located between Silver Star Road, Orange Blossom Trail, West Colonial Drive, and Pine Hills Road. Believe it or not, that entire area is the area where water drains down into the ground and also drains into the Little Wekiva River, and that water finds its way into the Wekiva River. However, the water that drains into the ground actually finds its way back to the Wekiva Springs, which is really important because, as you may have noticed today, our springs aren't doing so well and they're not receiving as much water as they should. And so every location that is still undeveloped, that is a source of water, a conduit for water to the Wekiva Springs and to the Wekiva River, is extremely important. Mr. Phillips Charities, Commissioner Robert Stewart, Mayor Buddy Dyer, and the other Orlando commissioners have recently voted to destroy over 100 acres of this 130 acres Wekiva River headwater wetlands and wetland forest. They want to build a recreational park and tennis courts and a YMCA for the packing district.
Now, what's the packing district? What is that?
The packing district is an area that's going to have shopping, condos, restaurants. Essentially, it's a development designed to allow people to enjoy some of the luxuries of high-end living. And so they want to build a recreational park for that area. The problem is that this recreational park could be placed anywhere. There's a lot of land here that has already been developed that could be repurposed into a recreational park. They primarily want to put tennis courts there, and there's a lot of already developed land that they could put that on instead of destroying the wetlands of the Wekiva River and Little Wekiva River.
So now where is this packing district?
The packing district will be located along 441, along a stretch there between Highway 50 and Lee Road. And so it will be located basically, in order to build the packing district, they're going to be repurposing land that used to have old buildings on it. And so they're doing a good job. That's a positive, is that they are recycling land that had already been destroyed back in the 60s and the 50s. The negative aspect of what they're doing is that they are about to destroy over 3,000 trees here on the headwaters of the Little Wekiva River and the Wekiva River just to build tennis courts and a recreational park. That's a huge problem because those 3,000 trees are providing a service to the residents of College Park and residents of Mercy Drive. Those trees are absorbing a lot of air pollution. Now, what you see behind me is a project where the Florida Department of Transportation has been widening John Young Parkway in order to allow an increased amount of semi-truck traffic to come up and down John Young Parkway. At the moment, College Park residents are protected because this forest is here. This headwaters, wetlands, and wetland forests currently are absorbing tons of carbon dioxide and tons of pollutants from the semi-truck's diesel exhaust. Now, why do we care about semi-truck diesel exhaust? Well, the World Health Organization, the Center for Disease Control, and the International Association for the Research of Cancer have designated diesel exhaust as a carcinogen. In other words, it has the potential to cause cancers. People who have worked around diesel exhaust, whether it be truck drivers, construction workers, anybody who's around diesel exhaust, has a higher risk of developing cancer, studies show. Scientific studies show this. And so right now, this wetland forest is helping to protect residents in College Park from that carcinogenic material. However, if the recreational park is built, they're going to have to destroy all these trees that are currently protecting College Park, thereby exposing those residents to the possibility of developing cancer and other respiratory diseases due to the large amount of semi-truck traffic traveling down John Young Parkway. And so in order for Orlando to be the sustainable city that Mayor Dyer is constantly claiming that it is, they would need to make a decision to conserve these wetlands instead of destroying them. The best decision and the cheapest alternative for taxpayers is to restore these wetlands to their complete full functionality, and then place the tennis courts somewhere else along 441, still within the packing district, but definitely somewhere else. Now, if you ask the city of Orlando how they intend that this is going to not destroy the water quality of the Wekiva and the Little Wekiva River, the city of Orlando will tell you, well, the stormwater pond that we are putting on these wetlands, the stormwater pond for which we're going to destroy over 3,000 trees in order to place on these wetlands, is going to improve the water quality that's flowing into the Wekiva. Well, they're not quite telling us the whole truth. What they are not telling us is that there is not a stormwater pond, at least not the way they have currently designed it, that is going to take out all of the nutrient pollutions. I've seen the design, and it's not going to take out all of the nutrients. As the wetlands are right now, they are doing a much better job of removing nutrient pollutions than any plan that humans can come up with. And so the city of Orlando is misleading people by saying it's going to improve water quality to the point that it will help make the Wekiva River more healthy, because they cannot remove all of the nutrients that are going to be in the runoff coming from the industrial area and running directly into that stormwater pond.
So what makes you such an expert on this topic?
Well, I am an ecologist and biologist. I have my PhD in that field, and I have been studying this area for years because of the fact that I've been a resident in this area for my entire life. In fact, it's these wetlands and wetland forests of the Wekiva and Little Wekiva that inspired me to become a biologist and an ecologist, because I had the opportunity to observe the wildlife raising their young, to observe the river as it was flowing through its bed. And one thing I can say is, you look at the photos of the river currently and the river as it used to be, there's definitely a problem in terms of the water level. Florida Department of Transportation diverted the Little Wekiva River up here in the headwaters area. They claimed they were going to put it back into its natural path, but they diverted it about 4 or 5 months ago and still have not placed it in its natural path. Well, first of all, that's a problem, because that river is protected by the Clean Water Act, and I'm wondering, how is it that FDOT and the city of Orlando, who gave them permission to do it, can violate a federal law without penalty? That's the first thing. Second of all, because of the fact that diverting the primary tributary of a federally protected major river, that also violates 2 laws. That violates the Clean Water Act, which protects all U.S. navigable waterways, which both of these waterways are. And second, because the Wekiva River is part of the Wild and Scenic River, it's protected by that particular act that was established by Congress. That's another violation of a federal law, because you're not supposed to, first of all, negatively impact a river that is protected in that way. On top of that, there's the state laws that require that both of these areas be protected to the utmost by local governments. And so there's a lot of issues here of concern where I really think somebody needs to take a look at the actions taken by Florida Department of Transportation, City of Orlando, St. Johns River Water Management District, and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in approving a number of the projects that have taken place here that have negatively impacted the Little Wekiva River, and because it's the primary tributary of the Wekiva River, inevitably negatively impacting that also.